cards.
Hello there, and welcome back, Star Wars fans. Now, time to discuss the adventure that rocked the modern Star Wars galaxy. Before Star Wars returned to theatres, a warrior clad in silver armour came onto our screens and connected the whole world. The beating heart of the behemoth science fiction universe is a rather simple and down-to-earth story. It's the story of a resolute warrior who learned to care for no one, and a little green bundle of emotion who longed to hear the words of a father.
You should be.
Good job, baby.
Over the course of 3 remarkable TV seasons, Din Djarin and the mysterious child we know as Grogu have been the heart and soul of the Star Wars universe. We've seen them evolve from bounty hunter and bounty hunter's prey to a very close-knit family. Today, they take the plunge onto the big screen as the Mandalorian and Grogu. However, we must review and reflect on how we arrived here at this huge movie event before purchasing our tickets and ordering our popcorn. If you want to know where they're going next, you first need to know where they've been together. A galaxy in chaos. Let's set the scene correctly. The Galactic Empire has fallen. 5 years ago, the second Death Star exploded, and the galaxy believes Emperor Palpatine is dead. But the galaxy is not saved as a quick fix. In the Outer Rim, far from the new shiny politicians of the New Republic, it's a free-for-all. It's like a Wild West town. Crime bosses have control over the streets. Former Imperial officers are like powerful warlords with their own private armies. Common folk are simply surviving amid the chaos. Bounty hunting is a very viable business in this brutal and unforgiving world. Here we meet our hero. He will not show his face. He barely speaks. He goes by the title of his people, the Mandalorian. He belongs to a secretive, strict religious sect called the Children of the Watch. The golden rule they give is easy to follow, but hard to accept. Never remove your helmet in front of any living thing. If you do, you are not a Mandalorian. He is a man of honor, but he survives as a bounty hunter, collecting targets for credits. He's a man who thinks no more about the outside world, only does what he needs to do, takes what he needs, and returns anything he can to his secret family. There's no greater agenda for him. All of that changes with one single assignment, though. The Mandalorian Season 1, The Bounty Hunter and the Child. Things pick up when Din Djarin is hired by a secretive and affluent client who's related to the old Empire. The bounty is huge. The target is totally unknown. Din goes to visit an alien dusty planet, fights his way through a group of mercenaries, and arrives at a floating metal baby carriage. When he opens it, the entire world gasps. Inside, he finds a tiny child, still 50 years old, with funky big ears and the same species as Jedi Master Yoda. Din was supposed to deliver this child and walk away. However, when he looks into the eyes of this helpless little creature, something good inside the hardened warrior breaks through. Din takes the child to the Imperial client and receives his large reward of pure Beskar steel, which gets him new armor. He's rich, he's safe, but he can't seem to get the little green kid out of his mind, who's stuck in the hands of the evil Empire. In one moment that sums up his whole personality, Din discards the rules. He enters the Imperial safe house, blasting his way through a team of stormtroopers, and saves the baby. This decision makes Din a wanted man. All the bounty hunters of the galaxy now have his location. The rest of the first season is an exciting and desperate journey. Din and the child run up and down the planets, hoping they find a safe place to hide. They meet former Rebel Shock troopers like Cara Dune, farmers and mechanics. It's during the trip that Din comes to realize this baby is very special. As Din is nearly killed by a big, angry creature known as a mudhorn, the baby raises his hand, and wielding the Force, he lifts the gigantic creature straight up. The child saves the bounty hunter. They officially form a team. Eventually, they're caught by the past. The man who's been searching for the child finally arrives, and he is terrifying. Moff Gideon is a cunning, ruthless Imperial officer with a personal army of his own. Moving forward, during a large shootout in the town of Navarro, Din is seriously injured. His life is in danger, and a friendly droid, IG-11, will need to remove his helmet to heal him if he's to survive. For the first time, Din is seen in true form, bleeding and vulnerable. They're able to outwit Gideon's warriors and flee, but the season ends in a shocking revelation. Moff Gideon manages to escape the crash of his fighter with the help of the ancient black-bladed darksaber. This is a historic weapon tied to the ruler of Mandalore, and it'll create a huge battle in the future. Din has a direct and definite mission from the armourer of the Mandalorian tribe. You must go throughout the galaxy to bring this child back to his own kind. Now, you have become a clan of 2. The Mandalorian Season 2, The Quest to Find His People. Season 2 is a fantastic journey into the Star Wars universe, a truly open-ended adventure. Din has a mission, but locating the fabled Jedi is not an easy task. He needs to go to other Mandalorians to obtain information. On this quest, he finds himself on the watery planet of Trask, where he meets Bo-Katan Kryze. She is Mandalorian royalty, but she removes her helmet. Din is totally taken aback by this. Bo-Katan tells him that Din in fact belongs to a very extreme ancient religious group, and that many Mandalorians remove their helmets without shame. For the first time, Din begins to doubt all that he's learned. Bo-Katan points Din in the right direction, leading him to a dead, burnt forest planet to find a former Jedi. It's truly an amazing introduction. Din finally meets Ahsoka Tano. Ahsoka communicates with the child through the Force and tells Din and the viewer that his true name is Grogu. She tells him that Grogu lived in the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, but he had to conceal his abilities to survive when the Empire came. But the boy is too attached to Din, and Ahsoka senses Grogu's deep attachment to his father figure. She worries that fear and attachment could make Jedi training dangerous for him. Instead, she instructs Din to take Grogu to an ancient Jedi temple on Tython, lay him on a seeing stone, and let him choose his own path. However, everything goes wrong on Tython. As Grogu meditates and sends out a large signal through the Force, Moff Gideon attacks. A horde of dark troopers, huge and fearsome battle robots, comes down from the sky and abducts Grogu. Din is totally fractured. Worse still, his ship, the Razor Crest, is blasted to smithereens. However, Din is not deterred. He gathers a crew of allies, including the legendary Boba Fett, to get his son back. Din's most important rule is violated during the rescue. To get the location of Gideon's ship, Din has to sneak into a secret Imperial base. A face scanner stops him when he gets into a room, and he removes his helmet. He breaks his vow, totally compromising his honor and religion for the sake of his child. The ending is a perfect tightrope act. Din and his team go aboard Moff Gideon's cruiser. Din confronts Gideon in a grueling, brutal battle with a spear and the darksaber, respectively. Din emerges victorious in the battle and takes the darksaber, unwittingly becoming its rightful wielder. But the Dark Troopers trap them on the bridge. At the last moment, there's still hope, as one X-Wing appears in the docking bay. A human in a black cape is moving through the hallways, effortlessly hacking his way through the giant robots with a green lightsaber. It's Luke Skywalker. Luke has heard Grogu's call, and he's here to train Grogu. The part where Din says goodbye to Grogu is absolutely heartbreaking. Din removes his helmet before Grogu departs, not because it's a computer scanner, but so his son can see his face with his own eyes. Grogu leaves with Luke, and Din is left behind alone again. The mission has been accomplished. The child is gone. The bounty hunter is back to his usual solitude. The Book of Boba Fett. Why Din and Grogu are back together. If you didn't watch the Book of Boba Fett, well, you may have a lot of questions about how the two are reunited once again. This is a detour, though that's a must. Meanwhile, Din returns to bounty hunting while Grogu is gone, and the only thing that remains unbroken is his heart. He's having trouble getting the hang of the heavy darksaber. He's just got a brand new super-fast silver N1 starfighter, and the passenger seat is completely devoid of said passenger. He's been to his Mandalorian tribe, where he admits that he removed his helmet, telling them the truth. The armorer immediately kicks him out of the tribe. Din is now without religion and without a kid. Meanwhile, Grogu is training with Luke Skywalker in the forest. However, Grogu seems to be in a state of sadness. His mind is not on the Force. His mind is with his dad. Din flies all the way to the forest planet just to give Grogu a tiny shirt of pure Beskar armor, but he doesn't go to see the kid because he thinks that it'll make things more difficult. Grogu's heart is divided, and Luke sees that and gives the baby an impossible choice. He puts two things on a blanket. On one side, the little twinkling lightsaber of Master Yoda. If Grogu takes this, he'll be a great Jedi, but he may never meet the Mandalorian again. On the other side, the shiny silver Mandalorian chainmail shirt Din left for him. If he decides this, he leaves the Jedi way behind. The next time we see him, the choice is clear. Grogu has chosen the armor. He chooses love. He chooses his dad. A big gang war rages on the sands of Tatooine, where the reunion takes place. Grogu returns to Din's arms, and the universe is once again in harmony. The baby even uses the Force to make a giant angry Rancor monster go to sleep and save Din. Together, they fly away in the sleek silver starfighter. The Jedi way is no longer theirs. They're now together. The Mandalorian, Season 3, Home, Legacy, and Din Grogu. Din's family is reunited, and he has a new and deeply personal mission in Season 3. He desires to be a Mandalorian once again. He must come into contact with the living waters deep under the shattered planet of Mandalore to wash away his sin of taking off his helmet, or he'll be cursed. Most of them think that the planet is poisoned, and all of it is completely destroyed. But Din is stubborn. He visits the broken down world, battles some of the most dangerous underground creatures, and ends up in a trap. Then Grogu must leave the planet in the small ship to find Bo-Katan and be rescued. Bo-Katan shows up to save Din. They go together to the living waters deep within the earth. Din enters the water, recites his holy vow, and is successful in his endeavor. Then suddenly he's dragged under by a large mythical beast. Bo-Katan dives in to help him and witnesses it with her own eyes. A giant, living mythosaur. This is their people's ancient symbolic beast. Just look at it and you'll realize that Mandalore isn't cursed. It's waiting to come back to life. This is one discovery that can change the whole season's story into a big story on leadership and uniting a broken culture. Din and Bo-Katan unite their two very different clans of Mandalorians. The religious helmeted warriors agree to join the modern warriors in battle. Together, they help protect their friends from a vicious pirate king in the city of Navarro, showing that Mandalorians can be heroes and not just mercenaries. After that, it's time for them to reclaim their homeworld. The Mandalorian army invades the planet Mandalore to recover the Great Forge, but it's a trap. Moff Gideon awaits them. Gideon did not desire to rule Mandalore. He desired to steal their culture. He's hidden an Imperial base underground and cultivated a horde of vicious, all Beskar dark troopers. Gideon is clad in a large black suit of Mandalorian armor. It's a showstopper final battle. The Mandalorians hover over the Imperial troopers, firing at them with rockets and blasters. Din Djarin and Grogu persevere to put an end to Gideon for good. In the big battle, we witness the development of Grogu's powers. He's no longer just a helpless infant in his floating crib. He can jump, dodge, and defend Din from powerful attacks with the Force. Wholeheartedly, a courageous warrior Mandalorian named Axe Woves crashes a huge burning ship into the Imperial base. But the giant wave of explosive fire is coming towards Din, Bo-Katan, and Grogu. When the little child steps forward, Grogu uses the Force to enclose his family in a huge luminous bubble which extinguishes the blaze. The flames obliterate the base and Moff Gideon, but don't affect our heroes at all. Mandalore is reclaimed, and the Great Forge is lit once again. They are home returned. However, Din knows that he has one thing still to do. He faces the Armourer and officially takes Grogu as his own son. The child is no longer called a foundling, as his name is now officially Din Grogu. He is now Din's adopted son and Mandalorian apprentice. The season concludes with a delightful, tranquil finish. Din and the New Republic Ranger Carson Teva agree on a secret contract to track down any remaining Imperials without breaking any laws. Then Din and Grogu go to their new quiet cabin on Navarro. Din is seated on the porch, looking at the horizon as Grogu plays happily with the frogs in the yard. They deserve a perfect and peaceful ending, and that's what it is. Finally, they have a name, a path, and a home. But of course, in the Star Wars universe, peace never lasts forever. The tale of our favorite father and son is coming to the big screen, the biggest screen. The Mandalorian and Grogu, directed by Jon Favreau, is set to hit theaters on May 22nd, 2026, and will be blowing the doors off of everything we know. The confirmed details already make this feel huge. Pedro Pascal returns as Din Djarin, while Sigourney Weaver joins the story as Colonel Ward, and Jeremy Allen White voices Rota the Hutt. The New Republic is still trying to protect the hard-won peace after the fall of the Empire, and Din Djarin and Grogu are enlisted for a dangerous mission involving Imperial war criminals scattered across the galaxy. The footage also points toward a much bigger theatrical adventure. We have ruthless bounty hunters, dangerous Hutt trouble, and Zelens, Zeb Orrelios, flying for the New Republic, and Grogu stepping further into his journey as Din's young apprentice and son. Jon Favreau directs the film and produces it alongside Kathleen Kennedy, Dave Filoni, and Ian Bryce, with Ludwig Göransson composing the music. The Mandalorian has emerged as the emotional heart of contemporary Star Wars. What started as a simple western about a bounty hunter has evolved into a beautiful, epic story about a chosen family, facing your past and fighting for what you leave behind. That's the emotional tale of The Mandalorian and Grogu, finally getting the cinematic limelight it deserves. Ready to watch Din and Grogu in theaters? Well, what's your all-time favorite part of the show in the first 3 seasons? Come down to the comments below and tell us. Please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell if you don't want to miss a recap. May the Force be with you at all times.